Join us and discover beautiful beaches, rugged landscapes, pretty towns, desolate mountain ranges that sweep down to stunning lakes, unique architecture, history and folklore, no shamrocks, no shillelaghs, and definitely no shenanigans, just naked Ireland. This is Tate's Avenue, Belfast, and today we're going to walk around the village. No, we're not going to New York City. I'm talking, of course, about the infamous village area of Belfast, once a working class loyalist stronghold in the city. I say once a working class loyalist stronghold, it is of course still working class. But is it still a loyalist stronghold? Well, if these murals and lamppost signs are anything to go by, then yes. But this part of the city is changing rapidly, and perhaps some of its loyalist credentials are being eroded too. Here we see a mural celebrating the NHS on one gable wall, while the more sinister UVF tributes feature on a wall close by. Another deadly paramilitary group is championed just opposite the NHS mural, this one in memory of a member of the Red Hand Commando killed in 1989. And there are other murals reflecting combat in the First World War. This working class area is a labyrinth of red brick houses, typical of Belfast's early 20th century housing stock. And while many of these houses are still very much serving their purpose, many no longer are, and there are sections of the village that are completely derelict. This in itself is one of the things that points to a change in demographic in the village. As these old properties fall vacant, some of the older and traditional loyalist population moves away. And with that, inevitably new people move in, but sometimes with a very different background. As we round the corner here to Ebor Street, we immediately see that the street's been totally rebuilt, very much in keeping with the old red brick housing stock, but these are new, modern houses, fit for purpose in today's world. In contrast, you can see the old street facing them on the other side of the road. Again, the next street is exactly the same, except that both sides of the road have been developed here. They're attractive little houses with all mod cons, transforming the area while at the same time preserving the architectural feel. But who lives in these houses? The answer almost certainly is a much more diverse group of people that once inhabited the village. The village's proximity to the city centre makes it ideal as a base for, say, nurses at the city hospital. And so we have an influx of younger people, often with a more ethnically diverse origin. These new inhabitants are increasingly replacing the traditional working class loyalist. Some might say that the murals and flags that we see here are a swan song for working class loyalism, and its days are numbered, and that what remains here is a smaller group of activists making more noise than anyone else. Just as the political opinions of voters in Belfast has dramatically moved towards republicanism and the middle ground alliance in recent years, so the populations of these traditionally hardline loyalist areas of the city are also slowly becoming more diverse. I know it doesn't look much like it when you see a UVF mural on the gable end of a house, but the reality is that the whole of the north of Ireland is shifting politically. As you can see, there are certainly older residents still living here, but many young people have gone, and new families, often with no connection to loyalism or Protestantism, in some cases coming from different parts of the world, have replaced them. The Turkish barber on the busy Tate's Avenue kind of says everything you need to know about the demographic change here. We cross Tate's Avenue now in order to head over to the other side of the village. More red brick terraces, so there's not much difference between this part and the other side of Tate's Avenue, except that this is where the football ground Windsor Park is situated, and you can see it right up ahead. This football stadium's connection with Protestant working class roots is pretty well known. The Linfield Football Club are based here, as are the Northern Ireland national team, both of whom have had trouble with sectarianism over the years. This is obviously a stigma that the club and the national team have been trying to shake off, and without doubt there's progress being made there. It's all yet another illustration of how things are slowly changing in every part of social life in this part of Belfast. Like this old industrial premises, for example, which is now a chic light and showroom, 40 or 50 years ago, this area would have had a flag championing loyalism on almost every house. Those days are drawn to a close. An example is that Belfast now has 22 Sinn Féin councillors in 2023, which is the largest party. For those viewing from outside Ireland and the UK, Sinn Féin is an Irish Republican party who support the ideal of a united Ireland. Since the council's inception, it has been dominated by Unionists until 1997 when they lost overall control. 2011 saw Irish nationalist councillors outnumber Unionist councillors for the first time. As we head up the steps that take us back up to Tate's Avenue again, please let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video if it's been enlightening, and please think about subscribing. It's that support that encourages the production of more Naked Ireland videos. So there we are, the village. And looking out west to the mountains. As with most eras that are coming to an end, sometimes that's when we see the most vigorous reaction to change, and I think the murals of the village probably demonstrate that. The village, I think, is a really interesting barometer of the change that's happening more widely in the north of Ireland.